Today's topic is about proportions. Now, proportions are pretty simple to solve once you know what you're doing. And it doesn't take long to learn what you're doing. There really are just two fractions that equal each other, with one of the, either the numerator or denominator of one of the fractions being a variable in which you have to figure out what number it is. So, getting started with a simple example. X over 5 equals 2 over 10. Okay, so you have two fractions. You have x over 5, 2 over 10, equal sign in the middle. Okay, now the base way to solve any proportion is to cross multiply. Okay, so you know when we multiply fractions, we go straight across. Well, when you have proportions like this, you cross multiply. Okay, so let's start off. So you can start either side, doesn't matter which way you start. So we can start this side here, x and 10. So multiply 10 times x, and that equals 10x. Equal sign goes in the middle, and then the other way. 5 times 2, and that equals 10. Okay, so now we have a one-step equation. 10x equals 10. So to get the x by itself, because it's multiplication, we have to do the opposite and divide by 10 both sides, and that cancels. Bring down your x, and 10 divided by 10 equals 1. 1. So your answer, this one is 1. Now, if you have a keen eye, some of these are pretty easy to solve even without doing any of the work. Now, of course, when we do the worksheets, I need you to show your work, but if you want, some of them you can just solve by looking at them. Okay, and I'll show you. I'll rewrite this one, and I'll show you. Okay, so if we look at your numerators. You have 5 and 10, okay? Well, we know that 5 times what number is 10? Well, 5 times 2 is 10, okay? 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we know that this fraction here is twice as big as this fraction on this side. So that means if we do 5 times 2 is 10, what number times 2 is 2? You can do that. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? So 10, 5 times 2, right? X times 2, right? And we know that 1 times 2 is 10, okay? So that's just a simple way to look at it if you can, all right? But cross multiply is the easiest way to solve any proportion. Let's try something else. 8 over x equals 3 over 7, okay? So once again, simple one. This time our variable's on the bottom. Doesn't matter which if it's on top or bottom, whichever side it's on. It's the same thing. Cross multiply. Okay. So 8 and 7. 8 times 7 would be 56. Equal sign in the middle. 3 times x, it would just be 3x. Then you divide. What's attached to the x? The 3. So you divide by the 3 on both sides. And your answer will be a decimal this time. So bring down your x. 56 divided by 3 will be 18.6 repeating. And it's okay to get decimals in these ones, okay? So don't freak out if you get decimals in worksheets or on tests. It's okay to get decimals on this. So 56 divided by 3, 18.6 repeating. That is your answer. Pretty simple so far. Now let's try something else. Sometimes you'll see something like this. X plus 2 over 10 equals 4 over 12. Okay, so same thing. We cross multiply, okay? So let's start here. Now, notice we have x plus 2 on this side here, okay? So we can still multiply 12 by both, but you're basically going to treat this, you're going to distribute this, okay? So we're going to do 12 times x first, and that equals 12x. It's plus, now 12 times 2 would be 24. Okay, so all I did was distribute the 12, the x plus 2. 12 times x, 12x. 12 times 2, 24. Now we can do the other side. Equals 10 times 4, which is 40. Now we have a two-step equation, so let's solve for x. So we have our 24 up here. It's by itself. The x is attached to our 12, so we have to move our 24 first. It's plus, so the opposite of plus is to minus. So minus 24, both sides. That cancels. bring down your 12x. 12x equals 40 minus 24 is 16. And once again, you can see already we're going to get a decimal. That's okay. Divide by 12, both sides. And x equals 1.3 repeating. Okay. So once again, it's okay to get fractions. You know, it's not a big deal if we do. Just do the problem, do what you need to do, right? And we'll get through it. So let's do one more example. Five over x plus 9 equals 4 over x plus 3. Okay, so now we have two sets that we're going to have to distribute. Okay, so we're going to have a multi-step equation here, which is okay. We know how to do those. So let's start off. Let's start this way. 5 times x we know is 5x. And then 5 times 3 would be 15. There's a plus, so it's plus. Equal sign. 4 times x is 4x. It's plus. 4 times 9 is 36. Okay? Now we have to get our letters on one side, numbers on the other side. Keeping things positive, I'll take my smaller x, move it to this side. So because it's positive 4x, I can take that and minus the whole thing, 4x here, to the x on this side. That cancels out. Bring down your 15. 5x minus 4x, it can just be x or 1x. Bring down your plus 15, and that equals 36. Now, our x is chilling here, so we have to take our 15 and move it to this side. It's plus 15. Do the opposite on both sides, minus 15 here. Bring down your x, and x equals brain fart. X equals 21. Okay, and with some cool video editing, you'll know I never had trouble with that. 21 is our answer for this problem here. Okay, so once again, if you have something like this where it has an x or letter plus a number on either side, all I have to do is distribute it on both sides. All right, not too hard. Things are pretty easy. The word problems are easy as well. Don't freak out over this. And that's proportions.